Hello and welcome. Within this video, we will introduce some of the new functionality of KUMAVISION products to you. The video has chapters for each product and app. This way, it is easy for you to decide what to watch and what to skip. Let's get started with a short overview slide. My name is Kiva, and I will accompany you through highlights of our product improvements. Please take your time and pause the video to familiarize with the content if required. We start with two innovations out of our core app. The core app can be easiest described as the technical platform for KUMAVISION vertical solutions and apps. So even if you do not see it, it's always there. And also brings in functionalities. The feature management allows you to preview functions that will be activated automatically with future versions. This gives you the possibility to learn about new functionality and plan whether to integrate it in new processes or if processes need to be changed. Please note, new features should always be tested in a sandbox or another test system before using it in a production environment. To use the feature, simply open Tell Me and search for KUMAVISION Feature Management. The features listed here, which can also be described in more detail below, can be enabled or disabled via the corresponding action. For each feature, the version from which it is mandatory and automatically activated is almost always indicated. Please note that unidirectional features can only be activated once and cannot be deactivated afterwards. And again, please be aware, new features should always be tested in a sandbox or another test system first. The connection test helps you to quickly identify misconfiguration and infrastructure issues. To use the feature, simply open Tell Me and search for Connection Test. This feature is integrated in many KUMAVISION apps. After clicking on Run All Connection Tests, the test will be executed. If a test fails, the result can be displayed with a simple click on Details. To help your IT department or partner better support you, you can export the test result with more technical details here. Let's go on with some Booster app features worth looking at. If you are using our label interface to the labeling software, Loftware Nice Label or Seagull Bartender, you can now also create labels based on different logistic documents. This option has been implemented on open and posted or registered warehouse and logistic documents. Furthermore, the modifications give you the possibility of reprinting a label if required. With the introduction of the new pricing by Microsoft, global price calculation methods are available. However, the price calculation method, KUMAVISION-based price sequences, only worked according to the lowest price principle in purchasing. This resulted in many queries and misunderstandings. In addition, there is now an option to store direct unit cost for all vendors. To make it possible to calculate the most specific direct unit cost in each case, the adjustment was transferred from sales to purchasing. The rules for determining the most specific direct unit cost have been based on the rules for sales. They can be found in the online help. To show how the functionality works, let's open the item list and look at the purchase prices for the item Athens desk. Each vendor has the direct unit cost $1,000 assigned. For the vendor $10,000, we have the direct unit cost $1,500. If we need the vendor's item as an express delivery, it costs $2,000. Now, let's take a look at how pricing works with these prices. To do this, we create a new purchase order for vendor 10,000 Fabricam and add the item Athens desk. Because of the lowest price calculation method, the direct unit cost for all vendors is calculated as $1,000. If the price calculation method is now changed to KUMAVISION base price sequences, the calculated direct unit cost changes to $1,500. This is because the specific direct unit cost for the vendor has a higher priority than the direct unit cost for all vendors. Next, we need the order immediately, so we enter the express purchase order type. The direct unit cost now changes to $2,000. In this case, the direct unit cost for the purchase order type is more specific than the normal one for this vendor. Before the changes, the result was the same as with the KUMAVISION base lowest price calculation method. Here, the direct unit cost $1,000 is calculated despite the purchase order type express. In the standard system, physical inventory orders are created based on item lists. However, in practice, the structure of these orders often needs to align with bin locations in the warehouse. With our new function, you can create physical inventory orders whose lines are organized according to the actual spatial conditions of your warehouse. This makes inventory processes not only more efficient, but also much more practical. With the new Calculate Lines Bins feature, it is possible to create sorted physical inventory orders and thus form groups for recording even before the actual recording process. To use this action, we first need to navigate to the physical inventory order list and create a new physical inventory order for demonstration. The Calculate Lines Bins action calls the new report for calculating the physical inventory order lines. Using the Item Filter field, you can now filter specific items. Additionally, you can use the Variant Filter field to filter variants for an item. Using the Bins group, you can filter individual bins or groups of bins. All fields from the bin table are available for filtering. After running the report, the identified stocks will be added to the inventory order. Additionally, the filters from the upper group are combined with those from the lower group. This allows you to create and filter both item and bin groups simultaneously. For this example, we will now calculate all stocks for the item Athens desk that are located in the location group S1. As you can see, the corresponding lines have been added. Next, we will add the bin group S2 as well. This allows you, in contrast to the standard application, to create inventory orders not only based on your item lists, but also based on your bins. In this way, you can create groups for assigning counting teams already during the creation of the inventory orders. The existing functionality has been extended to include the new case of sales return deliveries. As part of logistics posting, lines of type resources, GL accounts, and items of type service from the original document are now posted automatically when the corresponding item line is posted. Additionally, these supplementary lines are now also printed automatically on delivery notes, further enhancing the workflow. This functionality is now available in all sales documents. To use the automatic posting function for additional lines, we first need to enable this function in the corresponding setup table. To do this, we open the KUMAVISION module setup page. And activate the corresponding switch, Auto Ship Added Sales Lines Active. Next, we open the Added Sales Line Shipment Setup page to set up which additional lines should be posted automatically. Therefore, create a line for the resource type and select the corresponding code. From now on, all resources containing Catherine will be posted automatically. With this, the setup is complete. Let's open the sales return order list and review the process. For our example, we select the first entry and open the document. In the lines, we can see that the document contains one item line and two resource lines. We create the warehouse receipt document. Then post the document directly. This will receive the item line, and in the background, the configured resource line will be automatically posted as well. In the document, we can see that the item as well as the configured resource line have been received. Now, let's open the receipt. We can see that the corresponding resource line is included in the receipt with quantity and thus automatically posted. We have transferred many helpful functions that we have been offering already in the sales area now to the Microsoft Standard Service area of Business Central. You now have the option of creating alternative lines in the service offers. These behave in the same way as the ones in the sales area. This allows you to offer your customers alternative items in the service module as well. Also, we have integrated bundles, headings from to totals and subtotals. This feature allows you to better structure your documents, just like in sales. Furthermore, you can now also work with beginning and ending texts in the service area and print these on selected documents. The price origin and line discount origin allow the user to recognize whether the price comes from the price list, item, the resource, or the service cost. They also offer another important functionality. If the price or line discount is changed manually, this is also visible in the origin. This means that the system no longer has to calculate the price again, for example, if the quantity is changed. We first need a service order to show the price and discount origin. Therefore, we create a new one and add a service item. Then we insert a service line with the item warming plate with the quantity one. The price origin is item, as this price comes from the item data record. The discount origin is sales line discount. This line discount comes from the price table. For the minimum quantity of 10, a price has been stored in the price lists for this item. If the quantity is now changed to 10, the price origin is sales price. An individual price should apply to the line, so a price of $15 is entered. The price origin is now set to manual. If the quantity is now changed again, pricing is no longer calculated as it has been set to manual. This also works for other line types, such as resources, for example. The next one is about price units. These are a calculation help when calculating an individual sales price. It provides support when sales units deviate from the base unit. The functionality was previously only available in sales and purchasing. In order to provide a consistent user experience, this functionality has also been integrated into the service lines. We create a service order and add a service item. Then we insert a service line with the item IoT sensor and quantity 1. The item has a sales unit box. This box contains 10 individual items. A single item is to be sold for $15. We therefore enter 0.1 in the price unit, a tenth of the box contents, and in the unit price 15. The system then calculates a unit price of 150. Let's move on to show sales conditions. The sales conditions were taken into account when calculating the price in the service, and the price was calculated accordingly. In comparison to sales, it was previously not possible to see how the sales price was calculated in the service line. In addition to displaying the calculation, it can now also be changed individually. This harmonizes the user experience between sales and service. Sales conditions calculate the sales price based on an original value, usually the purchase price, with defined surcharges and discounts. These sales conditions can be stored in a price list line as shown here. To show you how to view the price conditions in the service line, we need to create a service order with a service item. We then insert a service line with the item switch on/off with the quantity one. To see how the price was calculated, the service price and discount calculation can be called up. There you see that the calculation basis was 25 and what the result of the calculation is. The values used for the calculation can be changed here. A new price is calculated. This can be transferred to the service line. Block pricing was already available in service for items. This was adjusted during the adaptation to sales. The service costs may also result in quantity-dependent prices. In Business Central Standard, the quantity from the current line is exclusively taken into account when calculating the price. However, there are also cases where several lines of the same service costs are created, for example, with different date fields. Here too, the correct quantity-dependent price is now found for all these service costs, regardless of the lines. To show how the functionality works, let's first open the service costs and look at the sales prices for the support cost. For all customers, 1 hour of support costs $100, but if the quantity is at a minimum of 10 hours, the price per hour is only $80. Let's prepare a new service order with a service item to have a closer look at the new possibility. After this, we also add a new service line with service cost. As the quantity is first at 1 hour, a price of $100 is calculated. If we update the quantity to 10, the price changes to $80. By default, the quantity from the current line is always taken into account when calculating the price. Now this is where our change comes in. If we have more lines with the cost type support cost, the quantities of lines with the same content are added together for the price calculation. The price is calculated here with the quantity 11, and thus the price for the minimum quantity 10 is found. At the same time, the prices for the other lines are updated. The immediate updating of the other lines can be prevented in the setup. The prices are then updated as soon as the document is released. Let's have a look on 5 of the improvements in DMS and ECM Interface. Especially in situations where an extremely large number of documents is assigned to a business partner, it is necessary to reduce the number of hits displayed, for example, by limiting the document date. This requirement has now been implemented. With this correction, it is possible to use dynamic date ranges based on date formulas as search filters. This means that search definitions can now be delimited according to time periods and only display documents from the last year, for example. First of all, we open the customer list, and on our actual customer named Additum Corporation, you see within the fact box Documents that there are 83 different documents found for this customer. While expanding the list, we can see that there are totally 73 business documents separated into 33 sales invoices, 7 sales orders, and 33 sales shipments. Additionally, there are 10 documents stored as correspondence. Next, we want to add a dynamically assigned date filter to the standard search filter. Therefore, we can directly call the used search definition out of the fact box and edit it accordingly. In order to edit the search definition, we need to disable the active trigger first. Then we need to set a new filter using the search definition tags. Here we add a new line. As we want to filter the documents by date, we enter the according code. The data source for the dynamic filter is function, and as data source function, we will select the value date formula. After that, we can set the filter for within the field fixed value parameter. As we want to display only the documents starting with the beginning of the current year minus 1 year without ending date set, we can enter the date formula as shown. After that, we need to activate the search definition again. Back to the customer list page, we need to refresh the page to make the changed configuration become active. And voila, you can see that there are only 40 documents left for the search. The next one is about dynamic filtering. Special data constellations sometimes make it necessary to use a separate search definition for the document search for a specific data set. As it was already possible to store several search definitions, for example, with different search filters per table, it was still only possible to store one definition as default. The requirement for more flexibility was met with this adjustment. As with the storage definitions, it is now also possible to create a closer link in the search definitions by assigning table filters. In conjunction with the sorting number, a more individual assignment can thus be made. In ascending order of the sorting number, the first search definition is now used that matches the corresponding data record based on the table filter set. First of all, we open the customer list, and on our actual customer named Additum Corporation, you see within the fact box Documents that the default search definition, Search Documents of Customer, is used. Now we want to create a new additional search definition that will limit the documents filtered to the current month. This definition shall only be used for the customer Additum Corporation. The fast way is to open the search definitions by using Tell Me, and to select the according search definition in the list for copy. After giving it a new unique code, the duplicated search definition will be created. First of all, we want to reduce the time span for search only to give the documents of the last 6 months. After that, we will decrease the sorting number, so the definition will be checked before the default definition. Next, we modify the description of the search definition, as it will be displayed within the fact box. So it is possible for the user to see which data is contained. Then we will limit this definition to be used only for the customer Additum Corporation. We can accomplish this by setting the table filter to the specific customer number. Finally, we set this definition to become active. Back to the customer list page, we need to refresh the page in order to make the change configuration become active. And voila! You can see that there are only 13 documents left for the search. Currently shown is the newly created search definition, search docs of the last 6 months. When changing the customer to, for example, tray research, you can see the default search definition changing to search documents of customer. The same with the other customers. Nevertheless, based on the customer a datum corporation, we can select the desired search definition by clicking the currently shown definition. Here, the 3 possible display options are shown, whereas the same call for tray research only returns 2 options, as the docs of the last 6 months is only available for filtered customer a datum corporation. Let's move on to just another topic. In various business processes, it may be necessary for documents to be scanned and subsequently linked to a process. However, at the time of document processing, there may not yet be an electronic document that can be assigned to the process via the drag and drop area. No process has yet been available for this demand. It is now possible to mark storage definitions for the creation of document envelopes. This creates an empty document without attachment in the document management system, which can then be filled with the document during the scanning process. In order to set a storage definition to accept creation of document envelopes, some settings must be given. So we need to enter the storage definition. In the given example, we want to set possibility to create document envelopes based on customer data. Therefore, we open the storage definition for the customers. To edit the storage definition, we need to disable the active trigger. Setting the flag, Use for document envelope, we activate this selected storage definition for creation of document envelopes. All the other selection techniques like table filters and sorting numbers will also work in this case. In order to assign the scanned document later on to the correct envelope, we will assign a barcode as a key information. By entering it additionally for the data, the correct entry can easily be found. To make the storage definition work, it has to be activated. Going back to our customer list page, there is a newly integrated action within the fact box called Use for Document Envelope. Creating a document envelope calls the same processes as the file upload beside the fact that no file will be uploaded. So, in this case, we first need to select a corresponding subdirectory for the later integration. We will select correspondence in this case. Then we are asked to fill the manual field information, including the newly added barcode information. After filling it, the envelope will be created. The scanning process can subsequently find the entry based on the barcode and, depending on the desired process step, either replace or add the attachment or duplicate the entry for a new document with all metadata information. Now let's have a look on the new preview in the document search page. Within the standalone document search, the user guidance was not optimal. The document list was displayed and a new pop-up window was opened for each document preview. As there is generally enough space on the document search page, the user experience has been improved by displaying the detailed view in parallel to the document list. However, if a user does not want this, the preview area can also be deactivated. To open the page Search Documents, you have several ways. On the one hand, you can call it using the Tell Me functionality. On the other hand, the fact box Documents, which is displayed in many standard pages, also allows to run the page directly using the given record as source. In this example, we will call the document search by using the action Open Search Page on the selected customer. In the upper region of the page, you can see the new trigger, Hide Preview, that can be used to hide the document preview pane of the lower part. Double-click on a document to display the document preview for the corresponding hit in the right-hand section of the window. This is possible for all supported document, image, video, and audio formats. We now move on to the last but not least interesting topic for DMS and ECM interface. Although the document grid control is not entirely new, the latest versions have introduced small innovations and improvements, so it makes sense to take a complete look at this important component of the DMS and ECM interface. I will show you how this extensible control can make your daily tasks with documents in Business Central more pleasant. First of all, it is possible within a document list to expand all folders with one click or to collapse all folders. You can even expand or collect all subfolders and files of a given folder using the double arrow sign at the right end of a folder name. This will expand or collapse the tree of the actual selected row. If you want to expand or collapse a single tree node, you can simply click on the name of the folder itself. By that only, the selected folder will be opened or closed. You can also do a search within the given hit list by entering a search phrase in the field Search Text. The search term INVE reduces the shown hits to only one document named Exhibitor Invitation. This search refers to all columns contained in the hit list display and reduces them. Using 2025 as search term, any hits that contain this phrase are shown. These are referencing all columns, as for most of the files, the date column is decisive, but for the file highlighted, it is the file name. You can sort the hits by any column shown. Click the column header to sort ascending. By clicking the column header again, the sorting order will change to descending. It is possible to make the individual columns wider or narrower by moving the column header divider. Even if the column file name is too short to see the full name, you can hover the icon of the file to see a little tooltip showing the complete file name. There is an action menu for every file. You can select it by clicking the three dots shown to the right of the file name while hovering a file. Clicking this opens a small menu showing the default actions. The first action, Open File, can also be run by double-clicking the file name without opening the action menu. With this action, the current file will be opened within the viewer you have set within the document storage setup. If your setup uses Internal Document Viewer, the file will be presented within a Business Central page and contain various options depending on the file type. The action Download File will start a download of the current file to your local file system. The action Open Folder show the folder containing the current file within the document management system. If the storage definition used for the current selected file does contain manually edited tags, you can use the action Edit Tags to change the stored values of this manual fields. By this, we can define that the used document type of correspondence is wrong for a file, and we can change it to protocol. After reloading the data, it will be shown in the hit list with the correct document type. The presented functionality of the document tree grid control is by default. But design of the control itself is extensible. You or your development partner can add more actions to the current action menu in order to fulfill special operations based on the documents. The necessary development specification is available within our tech docs at the given link. Also, from our EDX module, we picked 2 interesting improvements for you. In previous versions, you had to set up each customer or vendor as a separate EDX partner and then set up EDX messages for each partner separately. So, if there were 3 customers with 2 messages, this resulted in 3 partners and 6 messages within the setup. With this change, you can just do the same by setting up 1 partner and 2 messages and just assign all the customers or vendors you need. These setup steps can now be significantly reduced, resulting in less time and a better overview within the setup. We open the EDX partner list and create 1 partner entry of the partner type contact. This has already been prepared here. Then open the EDX message setup. The GS1 sales messages are assigned to this partner. The setup now looks like this. Through the function message relationship, the customers can now be assigned to the messages. The assigned customers are then listed in the fact box. If a sales delivery is posted for one of these customers, the delivery note message is then sent. The assignment can also be made via the customer list. Several customers can be selected, and then several messages can be assigned. Therefore, click Actions and EDX Message Relation. Choose the message. If we now go to the EDX message setup, you can see the 3 customers have been assigned. The expiry of the period of storage can now be defined for incoming and outgoing messages. Messages that exceed the storage period are automatically deleted. This automatically reduces the storage requirements for these messages. The EDX setup wizard is used for setup and is called up via the tell me function assisted setup, and then choose Setup EDX Electronic Data Exchange. The general function is selected in the setup wizard. In the next step, the switch Initialize Expiry of Storage Period can be activated. And within the next step of wizard, the suggested retention periods can be customized and the wizard then be closed. There have also been changes in the area of the Quality Management app, which should be mentioned here. With the new Inspection Order for Transfer Orders function, we are expanding the capabilities of Business Central and helping you make your processes even more efficient and transparent. Previously, quality inspections for transfer orders were not supported. With this new feature, you can ensure that transferred items are systematically inspected. The incoming inspection for transfer orders is another milestone for powerful quality management in Business Central. Let's have a look on how this new function is integrated. We begin with the setup of locations. In our example, we use the locations QME Easy and QME Easy ZA, both configured with no logistic. Under the Quality Inspection tab, a new field has been introduced, Transfer Inspection Order Required. Once this field is activated, the system automatically creates an incoming inspection for all transferred items. Another enhancement can be seen in the inspection plan usage. A new source type called Receiving Inspection Transfer has been introduced. In this example, we have configured the inspection plan usage for the two locations so that all the items are inspected upon receipt of a transfer at these locations. Next, we create a transfer order. We start entering the source location in the Transfer from Code field here. It's QME Easy, and we specify the destination location in the Transfer to Code field, which is QME Easy ZA. To accurately represent the transfer, we use the in-transit code own logistic. In the lines of the transfer order, we detail the items to be moved. The quantity is set to 1. The source location bin is entered in the Transfer from Bin Code field 02 and the destination location in the Transfer to Bin Code field as 05. After populating all necessary fields, we release the transfer order and post the shipment and receipt of the item. Now, with the new functionality, the system automatically creates an inspection order, functioning similar in purchase orders or sales returns. Let's access this order, which contains all relevant information, including inspection characteristics and references. Notably, the document type posted transfer receipt in the posted reference section on the right clearly links to source document. We proceed to complete the quality inspection and release the inspected quantity. Once the quality inspection is finalized, the item is posted to the location we chose in Transfer to Code. To verify the item's placement, we navigate to the Receiving Inspection Order archive and choose the completed inspection order. Using the Navigate function, we review the location entries and confirm that the item has been moved from QME check to the location 05. It's important to note that the system supports this functionality for both single-stage warehouse logistics and two-stage warehouse logistics. This next extension increases transparency and efficiency in quality assurance, as it becomes clear whether an incoming inspection is required right when the goods are received. This facilitates the planning and coordination of logistics and inspection processes. Next, I would like to introduce the specific changes we have made for optimization. Let's first take a look at the innovations in the area of warehouse receipt. In the warehouse receipt lines, the new field Quality Inspection Required has been added. I would now like to move on to the extensions in the quality inspection setup. The new settings offer additional possibilities to optimally use the extension in warehouse receipt. Let's look at the details. The calculation of the Quality Inspection Required field in the warehouse receipt can be done either manually or automatically when opening the warehouse receipt. This is controlled via the Automatic Calculation Quality Check field. Furthermore, it is now possible to display the time of the last calculation in the goods receipt during manual calculation. To enable this display, the Show Timestamp of Last Quality Inspection Calculation field must be activated in the Quality Inspection setup. With deactivating the automatic calculation quality check parameter, we return to the warehouse receipt. After the manual function call, the display options regarding the upcoming receiving inspection are shown. Additionally, the date and time of the calculation are displayed. Thank you for allowing me to present the Automatic Incoming Inspection Detection extension, and I wish you continued success in using the Quality Management app. With the latest version of the Sanction Check, it is now also possible to operate the app with your own Ecovium contract and a new connection method. There are no visible changes within the application. The processes and views remain exactly the same for you, so no adjustment is necessary. The quick and easy setup allows to enter your login credentials independently through the setup process. In addition to your credentials, you will also need to update the technical connection point for establishing a correct integration. Additionally, you can be guided through the app setup via an assisted setup. This guided setup helps you make the necessary configurations step by step, making the installation process as easy as possible for you. When using your own contract data as an additional feature, you can then use blacklisting and whitelisting within the separate standalone Ecovium app. This allows false positive and false negative cases to be conveniently blocked or approved by the system during the verification process. As a result, manual post-processing in Business Central is no longer necessary, significantly simplifying and streamlining the verification workflow. Please remark that the Ecovium standalone app is not part of the KUMAVISION Sanction Check solution. For more detailed guidance, feel free to explore our other instructional videos on YouTube, the product videos within Business Central, or our comprehensive online help at the given links. Thanks for watching!